Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's been a while, I apologize about that. I had to take a little break. I went traveling to Korea. Some things happened inside the Elite Traders Discord as well that I had to take care of. So I've been a little busy over the past sort of week, 2 weeks, but I'm back now and I've got quite an interesting video to show you. So I'm going to explain to you what I teach in the Discord. So what this is, it's called the Echo model. So Echo Entry Model, so EEM for short. So you may have seen this around. We've got quite a few members that trade like this. So yeah, it does work, it's very profitable. And at the end, I'm going to show you some live trades that I'm in to prove to you that, I do trade like this and it does make money. So the core concept for this strategy is trend following. So what we want to do is just ride the daily trend. And this is why it's called the Echo model. So if we look on the daily time frame, we can see that price is in an uptrend. Very simple. I think we can all understand this, right? So, of course, because the daily time frame's in an uptrend, we want to go for buys only. So this is where we go down onto the 1 hour time frame, and this is where we look for our buys. This is where we execute. This is where we do all of our trade management. And this strategy has been specifically designed for the hourly time frame. So if you want to change time frames, I would urge you to go and test it first rather than just copy and pasting this onto a different time frame. So there's 3 things you'll need to sort of get the grasp of this, and it's just 2 moving averages and 1 relative strength index, which is an RSI. So the first moving average, which is this green one, we will need 50 as our length. The source is closed or close. Offset is 0. The method is EMA or exponential moving average. The length is 5, and that's it. Very, very simple. And for the red one, which is a 200 moving average, so obviously the length is 200, the source is closed, offset is 0, method is exponential moving average, length is 5, and that's it. That's all you need on the moving averages side. For the RSI, this is where it gets a little bit more, complex, if you will. The RSI length is 6, so I think standard default is 14. But we want 6 because we want to get the most extreme points in the market. So we need it to be 6, and I will show you the other settings in a second. Source is closed, MA type, moving average type is exponential. MA length is 1, standard deviation is 2. For the style, the only things you really need to change are the upper band to 80, because again, we want the most extreme points of pullbacks. The middle band is more a point of reference. We don't use this too much. We don't really base any trades off the middle band. The lower band is 20 because again, we want the most extreme pullbacks. So once you've got those sorted, you're good to go. That's all you really need. So the rule of this strategy is we only trade the daily time frame trend. So if the daily time frame is bullish and the hourly time frame is bearish, we don't take trades. We wait for the hourly time frame to turn into the same direction as the daily time frame. And that's what makes this work, because we're trading with the wave, we're trading with the trend of the market. We're not trying to fight it. We just jump on, we piggyback, and that's it. We get out and make our money. So we just covered the daily time frame. We just saw that was bullish. So for the hourly time frame, we can see here we've just turned bullish. So when the 200 moving average is below the 50, that's a bullish market, and we just had this cross here. So we now know it's safer to go for buy positions. So let me just play through, and I will show you again when we get a valid entry point. Okay, so what we have here is a nice pullback. So we've had the push up, we've had the cross, and now we know we're looking for buys. So what do we have? We have the RSI that has come down to 20 or below. It can be 20 or below, but not 20 and above. And the same rule applies for the upper band. It can be 80 or above, but not 80 and below, because we want it to be, again, at the extremes. So what do we do here is we go in for a buy position. So what do we do here? Well, it's very simple. We just need to wait for a confirmation. So in my book, what a confirmation is, it's a bullish engulfing candle. And what this does is it signals to me that we have enough buying momentum or enough buying pressure in the market to confirm the direction I'm trying to go in. But what we can do to make this even more solidified that this is a good trade is use market structure. So something I like to do is use the Fibonacci. And in this case, it doesn't line up perfectly, but that's okay. So what we can also do then is just look for previous levels in the market. And this one lines up here. So what does this look like to you? I'll let you take a second. So to me, this looks like a break and retest, and I really like the break and retest pattern. If any of you watch my videos on a regular basis, you'll know that break and retest is sort of my bread and butter. to mix in with the strategy because it just works so well. So we've got the market structure here. I'll delete the Fibonacci because it doesn't line up. We don't want to force it. You know, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work in a situation. We've got the RSI, we've got the moving averages, everything looks good. So what we need to do now is just wait for our bullish candle, which we haven't had yet. There we go. Well, that would have been it actually, but obviously replay mode. So what we'll do is we'll enter on the candle we just closed out of. This validates the rules for me. We've just had a nice bullish candle. So when it comes to stop loss, it can be very discretionary. There isn't really a set rule. It can go sort of either way. So what you could do, there's two options. You can either use the 200 moving average as a dynamic support. So if you don't know, moving averages are sort of classed as dynamic support and resistances. So you can use your stop loss as, you can use the 200 moving average as sort of a guide for your stop loss. But in this case, because price is so close to 200, I don't want to do that because I like to allow price some room to breathe. So what I'll do in this case is I will just put it down here just below the cross. And this is very discretionary, so I can't give you an exact rule for this. But what you can do is put it, at the previous low, the previous high, below the 200. It's kind of wherever fits well with this trade. And in this case, this is fine for me. So what we'll do is we'll just go for a flat 1 to 2. I think this is quite standard and it's very realistic to do on a sort of day-to-day basis. It's very standard to look for. So let's play through and we'll see how it turns out. So we just hit our take profit. And you can see, as I was saying, that the moving averages can act as dynamic support and resistance. You can see how well that this 50 moving average acted as support for price to move up higher. So yeah, it's that simple. And as I said, I will show you some live trades and I will show you my live account in a second to again prove that I do really trade like this. So you can see here, we have the pound New Zealand. You can see the moving average cross here. We had price come up to the 50 moving average. And again, this was a break and retest pattern. You can see it here. We did see slight drawdown, but you can see I entered here on sort of the retest of this support level or previous support level. We saw some drawdown, but that was fine. And now we are heading deeper and deeper into profit. We have Australia and New Zealand, which again was very similar setup, basically the same. We came down to 200. We had the RSI become oversold. And we had the fib level as well, but this is seeming like a potential losing trade as of right now. But we'll keep it open. This isn't a 100% win rate strategy. Losses are bound to happen. So I want to keep it as transparent as possible and as honest as possible. So we also have gold. Now what we have on gold is very similar. We came down to 200. We saw a sort of break above this previous resistance, so a break and retest. We came down to down to the 50 moving average, and now we've seen a push off. And you can see my scale in position here was off the previous high, so we've come up and broke, well, looking for that break and retest. So very simple things. Final one is the dollar yen. So you can see here, we came down, we had, this was driven by yesterday's news. So we came down to the 200 moving average. We had the RSI become lower than 20, actually came down to almost 5. And then we had the bullish candle, bullish engulfing candle here. And you can see this is where I entered, and now we're in, floating in profit. So here's my live IG account. So we have the pound New Zealand trade I showed you. We have the gold trade with the scaling that, again, I showed you. The Australian New Zealand trade that's not doing so healthy. The pound Australian, that wasn't my trade. That was from one of the other guys in the Discord. So that was from Gabby. We also have the dollar yen trade here. So you can see I do trade like this. It's a day-to-day thing. There's not much more to say. So you might be a bit curious about the profits and loss up here, why it's only 25. And that's because I've got a position trade on Jet 2. That's simply the reason. So I'm sort of, so you might be a bit curious about the profit and loss up here, why I've got so many trades open, or so many, trades that look like they're in profit, but the profit's only 25. And that's because I have a Jet 2 position on. And this is obviously a long-term position that I'm hoping to sort of hold into the summertime. So that's why the profits and loss is so low compared to the floating profit of the trades I just showed you. But that's it. I've just shown you the whole strategy. But I do teach this in detail inside the Discord. So if you're, if you're learning, or you want to learn more about the strategy, you want to follow my trade, you want to be involved with other traders, join a community, get bank reports, all that type of thing, then join the Discord. Link is in the description. And I do hope to see you in there, I'll be honest. So yeah, I'll see you later. Have a great day, have a great week, have a great weekend, whatever time it is you're watching this. And I will see you later. Make sure to subscribe.